Okay, so now I'm going to attempt to use that skid that's all the way in the front to pull this out. So there's the skid. I got some straps attached to it at the bottom and at the top. So I'm going to try and pull it out. Even if I just get most of it, I'm happy. Well, it worked, but as you can see, I broke it, so I don't know. Really messed up, broke all the screws through there. I don't even know how you would prevent that. There was just so much pressure on the thing that it just pulled it off. I don't know. But we'll get that screwed back on, and I guess it worked, so that's good. Usually I'd spend like 45 minutes pulling that out. So, okay, I apologize for the wind, but I wanted to make a short video on my solo operator leaf debris setup. So this is something that I use pretty much every week as soon as leaves start falling. And the reason why I'm calling this a solo operator setup is because I'm only one person, so one person can only drive one truck and trailer, and sometimes you need to be able to collect leaves and have room for a mower and bagger and other stuff. So this is what I've come up with. It's pretty much a box on the front half of my trailer. So for reference, this is a 16-foot trailer. There's an 8 foot's about here, so this is probably a 7-foot box, 6.5, and it's about 6 foot tall. I made it that tall because I wanted to be able to stand up inside of it, because last year I was unloading all of this by hand. I would take a manure shovel and a pitchfork and just scoop it and shove it out. Well, this year I got a little smarter and put a skid here in the front. So I have a skid with some U-bolts there, some I-bolts up there. The I-bolts are attached to the bungees. The bungees keep this up and from falling over while I don't have anything in here, like before you get to the first job. That way you don't have to unscrew the back here, which I'll get to in a second, to get back in there and set it up. The bottom is attached with some ratchet straps that come out to here. There's 2 of them. This is how they are in there. I pretty much just looped it through there so you never have to worry about these coming unclipped. So to finish off the back of the box, you have these 2 sheets of plywood. This one's the bottom, this one's the top. These 2x4s here, as you can see, go on the inside, so you don't actually see them. And that just kind of helps align the 2 sheets there in the center. I'll have 3 screws in each side here, 3 in each side there, 2 into the 2x4s there, and then 3 and 3. I don't take the 2x4s off of the bottom one. I only unscrew 2 holes, or 2 screws that are in for the top piece. So all it is pretty much just framed walls. I think these are a little less than 3 feet. The problem that I had that you guys saw just a couple seconds ago, I'm doing this a little bit out of order. When I unloaded it, was that it would push right here before this was here, because this wasn't here when I unloaded it just now. It would push here and rip this 2x4 all the way out. So got some 4-foot sheets of plywood, put them there, put these on top to isolate the inside of this bay, and it works perfect. Don't worry about anything in the front. And then what I do to unload it, there's a little bit of debris left once the skid gets pulled out, kind of behind the skid, but it's so much better than having to come in here by hand and do the whole thing, especially when you got a big job that's going to fill this thing up a couple times. It saves like half an hour, 45 minutes to just be able to pull it out with the tractor. So you're probably wondering how I do with this in pulling it out, is I will, once the leaves are in here, they'll get to roughly around here. After you drive, it'll pack them down a little bit farther. So if you're at the job, it'll fill them up to here. But then as you drive, it'll pack them down. So I will pretty much just jump in here, unhook the bungees, attach a ratchet strap onto here, run it all the way to the back, and I'll pull everything off the back with the tractor. As you can see over there is kind of my pile and back behind those logs. So let me show you the front and how the debris loader is attached. So this is a standard, I think it's a 13 horsepower Billy Goat. It's not, I think it's the smallest one that they make. I was a little bit cheap when I bought this a couple years ago. But it works fine for everything that is not wet. If it's wet, it kind of sucks. So you come under here. I have 2 holes attached to the actual trailer itself. This here was part of the manufacturer when it was built. They put that on there. This here was me a couple years ago when I was first learning how to weld. I put this on here, welded it on to hold this side of it. And it's kind of necessary to have them attached there because this here might not be the best forward backward like that, so that's what that holds. This here is literally just holding the weight, and that there is more or less holding back and forth, and it all shoots up into there. And then this here is kind of how I have this attached. It comes up onto the spare tire. I added this eyelet bolt in here. It was just a regular bolt, but it's nice to be able to just hook onto there. This wraps around here and onto the weed eater rack and everything, and it stays out of the way. I've only had a problem with it once, but that was last year before I did this. And I replaced the little band clamps. It just had those ones with a screwdriver that you screw down on there and they close up. Replace it with a ratchet strap because I've had it on this end. When you were driving, it came off and it just was dangling down the road until I was able to stop. The only thing you could do is realistically paint this, or put like a sign on the side, which I haven't done yet. But this box is only on for like 2-3 months at a time, and I take the whole thing apart and shove it inside of that trailer over there. Now for the bigger jobs, the first year that I did this, I used to have it come all the way back to here, and still that stud was there. So if I wanted to, I could have the back piece back here, or I could move it up into there and it would just be kind of enclosed back here. For the upper piece, this is all a mesh tarp. It's doubled over because this is like a 16 or 18 foot long mesh tarp. And there is a 2x4 right here. It's screwed down there in the front underneath of there. And then you have this 2x4 here. I've never had a problem with it flying off. I also shove it up and around here before I attach the sides, just so that the sides are also holding it. But I got a big job coming up where it would fill this box here with the curbside probably 5 or 6 times. So I'm going to look into a way to get a tarp, attach it up into here, and just kind of have it angled down towards the back, and it'll fill up most of this here. So I'll figure that out, and if I can figure that out relatively soon before I get this video out, I will post that so you guys can see that. That there will be completely removable because obviously you still need to be able to have a mower come up, but for this particular job, it's just blowers and blowing it to the curb and sucking it up. Next year, the plan is to have like a 10-ton single axle dump truck that I would just build the whole box on. I wouldn't then need to have any box on this trailer, and then the debris loader would just shoot it into the bed of a dump truck, which would be a lot bigger than like a 3 or 450 or 4500. It'd be something that would hold a lot of weight and a lot of material. And hopefully then I'd be able to mount the debris loader to the truck itself, because then if I have a job where I'm only sucking up leaves, I don't need to take a whole trailer. Especially for some of these jobs that I do, they're in tight areas, tight neighborhoods. You got to back into a driveway on a busy street, so it would just make it easier if I only had the truck. And every year this debris loader comes off with the box and it gets stored in that other trailer. That way it's not sitting out, and then this support here stays here all year round. The only thing that I need to do is get a jack for here, because it's kind of a pain to get down inside of here with this here with a wind jack there, because this here adds quite a bit of weight to this. So you really got to crank down on it, because this here is probably 150 pounds plus another 75. So you're looking at 200-ish pounds of extra tongue weight. That doesn't even include the stuff in the trailer. That's another thing you got to watch out for, is that, you know, obviously the whole box is in front of that front axle. So pretty much everything from about here up is going to be tongue weight, whereas back here it'll be more onto the axle. Which is another reason why I want to get a single single axle 10-ton dump truck, because it'll distribute the weight a little bit nicer on the truck, because I think that hitch on this truck is only rated for like 500 pounds of tongue weight. So that's going to be the end of this video. If I figure out a way to add the tarp there in the back, I'll do a little extra clip here on the end, but if not, I'll see you guys in the next video.